Franz Kafka wrote the novel Amerika between 1911 and 1914, but it was published only in 1927 after his death. Kafka never visited America, and his knowledge of it came from family stories and writings by authors like Charles Dickens and Karl May. The novel tells the story of Karl Rossmann, a young man sent to America to escape a scandal in his home country. His journey becomes a series of struggles to find a place in an unfamiliar world, where he constantly faces control, restriction, and confusion. At first, America seems full of promise. Carl meets his uncle Jacob, who offers him shelter, and Carl feels hopeful about his new life. But this optimism fades quickly. Even in his uncle's home, Carl feels trapped. He is confined to a room and cannot move freely. On a visit to Mr. Polander's countryside house, Carl feels oppressed by the strange environment, long, empty corridors, darkness, and Clara Polander, who tries to seduce him. These experiences show America as both promising and restricting. Carl is eventually expelled by his uncle for breaking curfew. Alone, he travels further into the country and meets two men, Robinson and Delmarque, who take him to the town of Ramses. There, he becomes a lowly worker in a large hotel, exhausted by long hours and hard labor. His work makes him feel more alienated. Carl befriends a secretary, Teresa, but after being falsely accused of stealing, he loses his job. He then works for a cruel, controlling woman, Brunelda, warned by Robinson that this is slavery rather than work. Kafka uses moments of forced physical contact to show Carl's lack of control. Mr. Polander forcibly holds Carl, and later Brunelda's oppressive embrace traps him. Clara Polander's advances and an earlier incident with a maidservant who seduces Carl and causes the scandal that exiled him show that physical coercion marks Carl's life. These episodes symbolize these deeper struggles Carl faces as an immigrant. He is constantly caught in situations where he cannot free himself. Instead of finding freedom, Carl discovers that America becomes a land of control and confinement. His last hope lies in the Nature Theater of Oklahoma, which promises work and a place for everyone. Its message is hopeful, with trumpeters dressed as angels and a sense of open possibility. Carl is drawn to this idea of belonging, and his journey there is filled with vivid images of America's vastness, wide landscapes, towering rocks, and a sense of grandeur. The novel also contains strong religious symbolism. Carl's story recalls the biblical Joseph, who was forced to leave home after an older woman's advances. Carl's arrival in America is marked by a bright light like the pillar of fire that guided the Israelites. But the Statue of Liberty holding a sword instead of a torch suggests that struggle and conflict await. Carl's journey resembles an exodus, leaving one form of bondage for another unknown land. The Nature Theater's claim of finding a place for everyone echoes Moses' promise of a new land for the people. Kafka never finished America. He told his friend Max Brod that the story would end with Carl finding a job, a home, freedom, and his parents, but he also suggested Carl might be executed. The working title, The Man Who Disappeared, hints at a darker ending. Carl's joining of the Nature Theatre and calling himself Negro could mean surrender to marginalization rather than liberation. Benjamin, the German critic, saw the theatre not as salvation but as a place where the self is erased.